So I just wanted to actually go over, for those that wanted to know, the deck that I used to beat Maexxna. Where is it? Freeze Nax. And highlight the differences between this and a standard Freeze Mage. So instead of just having one mirror image, I wanted two, just for more more sustain. This lets me survive for another turn, which is imperative in a Freeze Mage deck. I took out, what did I take out? Pretty much took out all of the cards that were either minions that had no battle cry purposes, like, where is it? Minions like, where'd he go? The Acolyte? Where is he? Acolyte of Pain. This isn't going to be useful because Maexxna shoots that web, sends it back to your hand. You're never actually going to be able to take damage with this thing unless you whip it out and then shoot it with your fireball, which is a waste of 5 mana in my opinion. Cold Light Oracle might actually be a really good card to put in here. You might want to replace the Novice Engineers for the Cold Light Oracle. That might be really cool because then you can start actually killing cards, because Maexxna's going to have tons of cards in her hand as a result of having her entire board filled by those spiders. Where are those spiders? These things, right? She's going to have a ton of these. They're going to turn into 1/1s. You're going to have a whole board of 1/1s because you can have 7 minions on the field at a time on one side, and she's literally not going to be able to do anything else. So Cold Light Oracle might actually be really cool in defeating her as well. What else was part of the original? I feel like this is actually a bad card in here as well, because usually what this does in the normal Freeze deck is it forces the opponent to have to take this out, usually taking out one of their minions, and you get a card at the same time. In this fight, 5 mana is way too much mana to be using just to draw a card, because she's just going to web it back into your hand anyways. So actually take this out and put in the Cold Light Oracles. This is a much better card for this, now that I think about it. There was another card that I took out. I took out Polymorph because it's just not going to be useful, because she's going to have a whole board full of 1/1s. What do I have to Polymorph? Sorcerer's Apprentice might be good, just because you're going to have all spells, so you can whip this out for a low 2 mana, and then suddenly every one of your spells costs 2 less. So at the end of the game, you might want to cast this, and then your Fireballs will cost 3, your Frostbolts will cost 1, your Ice Lances will cost 0, which is going to be great. I've put 2 Arcane Explosions in here, just because it allows me to, when paired with the Cobalt Geomancer, I believe I did this in the game, is I threw out on turn 4 Cobalt Geomancer. She had 3 of these up and running, and I used Cobalt Geomancer with the Arcane Explosion to do 2 damage to everything. Kills all 3 of these, turns the entire board into 1/1s, and pretty much that begins the actual game. Once you can get that out, once you fill her board up, she can't really do that much. So other than that, I threw Power Blast in there. Power Blast can be in a Freeze Mage deck. It technically, you don't really want it in your Freeze Mage deck just because it's 10 mana for 10 damage, right? This is 4 mana for 6. This is 1 for 4 if you can get a Frostbolt out, which is 2 for 3, right? All of these are much more valuable than this. This is actually really bad because think about how much damage you can potentially do with 10 mana, right? You can do 12 here and add this. You can do 15 instead of this measly 10. But because this this particular battle requires you to just do a ton of damage really quickly, rather than have to worry, because you don't have to worry about your opponent's deck at all, or about what they have on the field, because they're just going to have 1/1s. You know that. That's what you're banking on. So this is actually ends up being a very important card, and actually ends up being the card that I won with. Frost Nova again, stalling card. The Earthen Ring Farseer I put in because it's a great card from its battle cry, and it works in synergy with Maexxna's hero power, right? You throw this out, heal yourself for 3 health, she sends it back to your hand, throw it out again. It's not great for 3 mana. There's a lot of other 3 mana cards you would rather use, like Ice Barriers. Frost Nova is probably another one. But if you can, again, an entire board of 1/1s, 7 damage, you're negating 3 of that damage. You're almost halving the amount of damage she can do. And in a game where this is all, in a battle where this is all about surviving long enough to play Naxxramas and then a Fireball, Frostbolt combination, or Ice Lance or Pyroblast combination, lasting as long as you can is of utmost importance. So that's pretty much the differences. I wouldn't put Antonidas in here just because you want to finish this game off at turn 10. Pretty much. You might get to turn 11 and then you'll finish it off then, but at max, if you let it drag on anymore, you're just going to get overwhelmed by all of her creatures. And in my game, I eventually took out all of the 1/1s with a Blizzard. And that was to stall for another turn, because if I kill off all of her minions, she has to send out a bunch of minions that can't attack me right away unless they have charge, right? And there's a good chance that she wasn't going to have a charge card. So it's again stalling another turn, and I was close enough, like I think I was like turn 6 or turn 7, that I'm close enough to Naxxramas that I can survive the next few turns to win the game with, right? I thought about Arcane Missiles. I thought about this. I don't think it's good just because of the RNG. I think Arcane Explosion is just a lot better of a card, especially in conjunction with Cobalt Geomancer. If you have Thalnos, if you have the Blood Mage Thalnos, put Blood Mage Thalnos in instead of this Cobalt Geomancer. It's just better in every way, because you don't care about any of your minions' damage, because it's just going to get thrown back by Maexxna's hero power. I always think that her name is like like close to miasma, but it's Maexxna. It's messing me up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I took out the Doomsayers. You do not need Doomsayers in this because, again, you're going to throw them out and she's going to send them back to your hand anyways, so it's not going to do anything. So the Doomsayer Frost Nova combo does not exist. You can't rely on that. You're relying mostly on the Flame Strike, on Blizzard, and on these Arcane Explosions to be able to clear the board. And to be honest, for the most part, you don't really even need to clear the board. So that's pretty much what I used to win this one. So yeah, thanks for those who watched. Subscribe, like, and when the next week opens, we're going to be doing this all over again. It's going to be great. So yeah, thanks for watching, and if you haven't gotten your hands on the Curse of Naxxramas, start now.